Cavin, a wedding photographer and bridal boutique owner based in San Diego, and today I'm going to be talking about how you actually get legally married. So this was a requested video, and I'm going to be talking about essentially the basics of how you actually get legally married. And I'm going to try to make it as less boring as I possibly can, because this is more of a legal logistics type of video. So this is going to be specifically instructed for people getting married in California, so you will have to check your state for like the specifics on this, but this should generally be the type of process for most states in America. If you live in a different country, I would say that you should probably just Google this, because I don't know how accurate this is going to be for other countries. You've got to first off get this thing called a marriage license. You've got to apply for it and go get it. So first things first is for whatever county you're in. So I'm in San Diego County. You've got to Google like San Diego County marriage license. And what I would recommend would be to apply online if you can. So you can fill out your application, have it like printed, or do it digitally if you can submit it digitally. And then make an appointment with your courthouse, county clerk's office, whatever they call it, to actually go get that process done, to actually get your marriage license, get the printed copy of it that you will need. Now in California, there are two types of marriage licenses. There is the public one, which in San Diego costs $70, or you can get a confidential one, which just means that people can't look it up. We just did a public one because who cares? And that is $89 in San Diego. In different counties, it's going to cost less or more. San Diego, I think, is on the more expensive side. So you're not waiting in line. Again, I recommend making an appointment for this. We did it. It was super easy. We just went to the courthouse and we sat down. We had already filled out our application. We gave it to them, and then we were able to get our marriage license. Now, once you have the actual license that they give you, it doesn't have everything done. You're not done yet. That does not mean you're married. You have 90 days to have a ceremony. You have to have a ceremony to actually be considered officially legally married. You can't just go get the marriage license and be done. Now you have two options for your ceremony. You can have a civil ceremony at the courthouse right then and there, and then you're legally married. Or what you can do is go have like a wedding, like a traditional type wedding, and then your officiant is the one who is responsible for taking the marriage license or mailing it back to the courthouse, and then in the mail or in person, you then go get your marriage license where it's completed and certified, and then you're legally married. So I'll talk about that in a second. So what my husband and I did was we actually had our civil ceremony at the courthouse right then and there after we took our marriage license to the courthouse, okay? So we had made an appointment for this right after our appointment for like actually getting the marriage license, and we didn't take any witnesses with us. You can take witnesses with you, or you can pay for a witness at the courthouse. We just made this all a very practical decision. It was not romantic, it was not emotional. We just went and we had it done. And then we had our separate wedding, which did not have a ceremony. So we just had our own reception and our own little party and everything. This is the way we wanted to do it. It was very non-traditional, it was very atypical, and that's what we did. So essentially, we made an appointment to go get a marriage license and then have a civil ceremony in the same day so that we could just get legally married all in the same day that we got our marriage license. What we did was we paid the small fee to have a witness. We went into a room. We didn't even really dress up for this. I don't find this sad at all. This was not upsetting. This was not sad. This was not anything negative whatsoever. This is exactly what we wanted to do. So if there's any of you out there who were like, oh, that's, no, this was great. This was exactly what we wanted. We were having our party later on down the road. We did everything exactly as we wanted. There's nothing wrong with doing this. Okay, we saw the marriage part very practical, and then we had our great, fun, happy day later on. So we went into a room, we had a paid witness who was literally like the receptionist, and then we had the officiant in there, we had the little ceremony, it was super quick, done, we were legally married, and then after like 30 days or something, we went back to the courthouse and we picked up our marriage certificate that was absolutely certified. I'll talk more about that in just a bit, but that was the process. So that was everything that you can do if you just want to have your civil ceremony and not have like a full-on wedding on a separate day with a big white dress outside of the courthouse. Now, if you do want to have that, your marriage license that you just got at the courthouse is valid for 90 days. So the timing wise, if you are going to get your marriage license, make sure that you are timing it so that your wedding date is within 90 days of getting that marriage license. Whoever you choose to be your officiant, be it a friend who is ordained in the state, they must be ordained in the state where you are getting married. Your officiant is the person who is responsible right after your ceremony takes place for gathering the couple, and your two witnesses. In some states it might be different, but at least in California, your two witnesses have to sign that marriage license, and then the officiant signs it, and the officiant is responsible for either taking or mailing that marriage license back to the county clerk's office or the courthouse, and then you will be mailed or instructed to pick up your certified marriage license, making you legally married. That is how that works. Make sure that you hire a good officiant who has good reviews, because you do not want to hire somebody who is irresponsible and is not going to get that in time, making everything you just did not legally valid. You do not want that to happen, because if that happens, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go back to the courthouse, and you're going to have to get a new marriage license and do a civil ceremony. It doesn't mean you're going to have to redo your whole big wedding that you just paid a lot of money for. It just means that you would have to go to the courthouse and then get a marriage license again and do a civil ceremony at the courthouse. So it's really not the worst thing in the world, but it would just be really irritating and annoying. And then obviously you would have to leave that officiant a bad review if they did not do their part, which is taking that marriage license back to the courthouse. So to recap, you are going to make an appointment to go get your marriage license. And then if you want to just have your civil ceremony on the same day to get officially legally married right then and there without having a big wedding off-site, you can absolutely do that. Make sure you have an appointment. You're welcome to bring some people with you to have like actual friend or family witnesses with you. Do it all there, and then after maybe 30 days, you can get your marriage license and it's certified and everything and you're good to go. Or you go get your marriage license by making an appointment, and then within 90 days, you have your big wedding or elopement, whatever you want, off-site, and then your officiant, whoever that may be, like a pastor or a non-denominational person that you hired, or a family member or friend who got ordained in that state, they are responsible after the wedding for getting that marriage license back to the county clerk's office or courthouse. And then within 30 days of them getting it there, the county clerk's office will either mail you a certified copy of your marriage license, or you will need to go pick it up, and then you will be officially legally married. Now, what do you need the certified copy for? It's mostly for legal purposes. You might not ever really need to show it, but there are some things like legal entities such as like insurance companies or Social Security that might actually request copies of it. So you will need to have some lying around. You might have to occasionally request copies from your county clerk's office. So there is a purpose for it. You personally are probably not going to frame it and hang it in your home. So it is really just going to be more of a legal, practical thing that you will need to have it for. And that's pretty much it. It really is not that crazy of a process. Obviously, if you are going to be changing your last name, and I just did a video all about changing my last name, or really why I didn't change my last name, but if you're going to be doing that, that's a whole nother process that you will need your marriage license for. But again, this is something that is really not that difficult, but I strongly suggest making appointments, because this is definitely something that's going to save you a lot of time, so you're not waiting around and then ultimately maybe not even having time to do it. So make appointments for everything, and know that if you are having a big wedding, that you need to make sure that your timing when you get your marriage license right. For California, it's within 90 days. For other states, it might be less time. So just make sure that you're timing it right so that the time doesn't lapse and you have to go get the marriage license again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't super exciting, but anyways, if you did, leave a like, be sure to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!